Dean, of course, everybody would like to have a crystal ball and know what the Chinese are going to do with the tariffs on canola. What is the latest you've heard? What is your expectation? Is this something that we have some degree of hope that it will be ended soon, or will we be talking about this again a year from now?
Well, at this point, Kevin, we're all watching that March 9th deadline that China has set for their final determination or final decision on the current tariffs on seed. That's really what we're watching right now. Hopefully, we can get some certainty around that timeline. But at this point, we really have no indication. The government keeps signaling that things are going better, but it's December on the farm, and I wouldn't say my canola price feels better as of today. So, unfortunately, I feel we have to just keep waiting and watching, but it's getting very uncomfortable to maintain this position.
Do you feel that at least it has the attention of government officials and of the federal government? You guys have got some pretty good media play on this. Is the issue understood? For a while, it seemed to be overshadowed by everything American tariff, and these Chinese tariffs on canola seem to be taking a big back seat.
I think they're hearing us. We've put enough effort into lobbying or advising Ottawa of our situation. They seem to be listening, they seem to be understanding, but ultimately we're still kind of waiting on action here.
Have you undertaken any quantification of the damage? I think everybody believes, especially after the drop we've seen in canola prices in recent times, that this is hurting our price, hurting our movement. But has anybody tried to do a quantification of how much money we've left on the table because of the tariffs?
Yes, there is work underway to try and quantify those damages. It gets really nebulous to try and sort it out because there was the announcement last March around oil and meal, then there was the final determination here on the seed. So it gets really hard to unpack where all the damages occurred and when, going back a full year to when the process was initially started by China. But yes, work is underway to quantify it and try and understand just how big of a financial sacrifice have farmers had to take.
Will that work be released at some point then, Dean? Or is it still underway, or what can you tell us about that?
It's still underway at this point. No public release date as of yet.
Now, there hasn't been a full press call for government compensation due to these tariffs. Do you think that's still coming? Is that warranted? Should the government be looking at a compensation package? It seems that lumber and the auto industry have received some significant support. The canola support has been limited to just an increase in the interest-free cash advance, which is not a big dollar amount. Is Sask Oilseeds calling for compensation? Will groups be calling for that?
So the short answer is yes. Farmers need to be treated the same as other industries. When you look at the supports for lumber, other industries, they've received much different support than we have. Those changes to the APP, well appreciated, weren't terribly impactful. Like on our farm, it was a very short-term relief measure. We're really focused on that March 9th deadline and getting the market reopened. That really is our focus. But barring that, we need to think about this in these terms in my mind. This is the second time in 6 years that a decision of the Canadian federal government has resulted in trade action against canola. Farmers are tired of this. We want to see our government acknowledge the financial sacrifice that we've made, and we want protection from it happening now and into the future. The longer this goes on, the bigger the impact. And if we get trade reinstated, that's one thing. But if you alluded to earlier, if this starts to drag on into another year, those damages build and build. So really, we're looking for acknowledgement from the federal government and treatment the same as other industries.
When we look at the 2026, and the last I crunched the numbers, I thought canola still looked like a pretty good alternative, or a pretty good cropping option economically compared to the other options out there. But canola prices have been steadily dropping. What do you think we're going to see for canola acreage in 2026, given the current climate? Is it going to be up, down, or steady as she goes? What does it look to you?
Well, it's dangerous to speculate on markets and seeding intentions, but from what we are hearing, canola acres are likely going to hold. But that actually starts into a more depressing story than just canola. Other commodities are also seeing price challenges, and ultimately, we're dealing with a farm profitability crunch right now. Inputs are at very high levels, crop prices are down, and it's a perfect storm to hurt farm margins. Typically, on our farm, canola would be one of those crops that would see us through these tough times, but in this tariff environment, I'm not sure that's going to hold true.
It's if I think if it wasn't for very good yields in most parts of the province, the economic pain right now would be far worse at the commodity prices we're seeing.
Well, and further to that, Kevin, like for our crop, our farm, this was a record crop. This should have been a year to really move the needle financially for our farm. That 1 year in 10 where you really click on yield and price and move the farm forward. With these prices, it's not. It's okay at best.
What should producers expect for the upcoming annual general meeting, part of the Sask Crops Forum in January in Saskatoon?
Well, we encourage farmers to sign up for the event. Space is somewhat limited. We've got wheat, barley, pulse, and canola all hosting our AGMs at that time at the Western Development Museum. We've got 5 great sessions underway. We've got a panel from our national groups on the state of play in Ottawa. We have a political commentary from the Line podcast. We have an market outlook from RBC. We have a joint session with Steve Shirtliff from the U of S on data and another session on Virginia Tech on maximizing productivity. So I think it'll be a great day. I'd encourage people to come out.
Marvelous. Now, I guess it's just a year since Sask Flax was integrated within Sask Canola to form Sask Oilseeds. How has that integration gone?
It's gone really well, Kevin. There's a lot of synergies between the two crops and the two organizations the way they were before. So this is just continuing on some of the good work that had started before. I came from the canola side, so looking at flax, I've learned a few things about the nuances of the markets of flax. But as a longtime flax grower, I'm really happy for the opportunity for both crops to work together.
Excellent, and look forward to seeing you in January at the AGM, Dean. Thanks very much for doing this.
We'll see you there.